Hi, good morning. I'm Matt Call with Great Basin Incident Management Team Number 3. I'm the Operations Section Chief. We're here on the Tartar fire up on the Boise BLM District and the Payette National Forest on the west side of it. We're going to be talking to you again about the Tartar fire. It's our second day here. We're just a little over 12,000 acres and we're going to give you an update. We've got a map behind me, but we're also going to show you our map on the iPad, so we'll kind of cut to that and I'll kind of zoom in to show you some details, what we're doing on the ground. If I do it that way, it will make a little bit more sense as opposed to just some blobs on the map behind me. So we're gonna cut over to my map on my iPad, and if you look at the map, on the bottom of the screen here is Weiser, and then north of Weiser is the fire. So if we scroll up there, we have a camp here at Man Creek. That's where almost all the firefighters are camped at. And then north of there is the fire. It's right up against the river there. You'll notice a bunch of colors and symbols on this map. We'll start with this bottom left side where we have the Div S, and that's a division, that's a geographical location that we have, and we have it divided up into about 4 of those. All of the black edge denotes contained fire, which means we're pretty sure that the fire is going to stay within that perimeter. And as we put more line around the fire, we're going to put more of that black on the map, as we call it. So that's where we get that containment percentage that we show on the daily updates. So that bottom southwest corner is very much contained. All of the hash marks that you'll see there are dozer lines. So we have a combination of dozer line and hand line all in this southwest corner there. So we're pretty confident that that fire is going to stay put right in that area. When we first came here, all of this line was pretty well put in by your local initial attack resources, the crews, the engines, the jumpers that all came, the dozers. So a lot of that work was already done. We're just putting our reinforcement resources to work to reinforce those. On this north side in Division A, they put in some more dozer line and then did a burn off. Basically, they just eliminate the fuels between where they put the dozer line and the edge of the fire, which sometimes is just a few feet and sometimes it might be 100 yards. So a lot of this along right in the center of your map here will be turning black probably today or tomorrow. Where we get a little more complicated is here where we hit the forest boundary, where the terrain and the fuels get a little more rough. So we have deep canyons, higher peaks, big ridges, and a lot bigger trees. So what this is like is it's kind of like a puzzle we have to put together, and all the pieces, we have to figure out which pieces go with which. And some of those pieces are hand crews, where we put people on the ground and they dig in the ground with shovels and hand tools and saws, and some of the pieces are hose lays with engines, and some of the pieces are dozer lines. And so the terrain and the fuels kind of dictate what fuels work for us. So along this edge here, you can see all the X's, the hash marks. That's dozer line. The M is machine line, or line that we might use a road. And then right here by all these hot spots, that's all hand line, where hand crews have actually created hand line. So we do have quite a bit of line in here. We're not quite ready to turn it black. It's not quite secure, but you can see we have a lot of line put in around all of this squiggly stuff. And that takes a lot of time to kind of piece this together, move the dozers around, kind of go up and down these ridges, and then have scouts out in front knowing where to go and where it's safe to go. We also have to work with what the fire behavior is. So we don't have a lot left to piece together. It's still going to take some days to piece these together kind of in the middle of your screen. We have about 3 or 4 hotshot crews, another handful of regular type 2 crews, a bunch of engines, and then about 3 dozers out there working. What helps them while they're working is the aircraft can kind of come in and cool that fire off, and then they can get up close to the fire's edge and put those dozers in and then reinforce it with a hand crews. And we kind of use the right tool for the right terrain and fuel. You'll see some helicopters flying between the fire up here and Ontario. We're staging the aircraft down in Ontario. That's where they're fueling up and the pilots get to take a break. And they're usually flying about 2 at a time. We have 4 aircraft, but we have to kind of balance that because we can't fly too much at the same time because it's kind of a tight airspace. And if we get too much in that tight airspace with all the smoke, it gets a little bit dangerous, and we want to make sure we have some good safety margins for our aircraft. So all of those tools kind of fit together for us to kind of create a solution for this, but we have to find that right solution, and every day it sort of is a little bit malleable and kind of changes a little bit on how we put that together. But what we wanted to tell you is that we have all of these things working, and we are progressing well and putting a line in. There's not a lot of puzzle pieces left, but there's still a lot of work left to do. That'll take some time before we're confident that it's secure and it's not going to grow. One of the things we're anxious about is there's a wind event coming Saturday. So we're working as fast as we can to get as much of that line contained so that when this wind event comes and pushes these fuels, we're hoping it doesn't get outside of our lines, but if it does, we have as much contained as possible. So where it does will be just in smaller places as opposed to like a large flank that will jump out and grow like it did on the initial days. And that's why you can kind of see the fire is kind of being funneled down to this point as we work on both sides towards this end. We're just trying to fill in these gaps. So tomorrow we'll show you the other pieces that we filled in, and you'll get to see how much more black we have on the map, and that will be represented both on the map and in the percentages that we report every day. So once again, we're on the Tartar fire, and this is Great Basin Team 3, and we're happy you could join us, and we'll see you tomorrow.